Hey everybody, what's up? You are listening to the Playing On Podcast. My name is Carl Markowski, and thank you for joining me. It's nice, bright and early on this Saturday morning. Sorry I didn't get this out yesterday, if you're listening to this, but I've been busy with real work at home, the 9 to 5. And the family and everything that comes first. So, but I've been meaning to get this out to you guys. But here it is. This podcast is with Scott Kemp, who I have I had the opportunity to play with on Excessive, and I've seen him kind of come up through the ranks and play for all these different teams and find his fit. And I'm really glad that he's doing well on the Ironmen. And they just came off of a great finish over in Chicago, and it's good to see. And also Bobby's Aviles is playing for Ironmen as well, and it's good to see that they're finally coming around and producing how they should. I know they've had a couple rough seasons there, but you know, man, that's paintball, man. Paintball has been nothing but competitive, I feel like, the last year or so, especially this year. It has been neck and neck, I feel, with everybody. Even these teams that pull off a win for these events, they've had to win mini tournaments each game that they play. I mean, no one has really laid over this year. So I think it's been really competitive, and I think the Ironmen and Scotty have been playing pretty damn good. But before we get into the podcast, a quick thank you to our sponsors, Dr. Paintball, where you can finance, like you've heard me say before, you can finance all the gear that you would like. They have HK gear, they have Planet gear, they have some GI stuff, they have dye gear, they have all kinds of stuff. Anything you can think of, they have at drpaintball.com, and you can finance it. If you can't afford it, finance it. They help you out in any way possible. They also have used gear on the site. They have paintball videos, they have paintball info, current events, all kinds of stuff. Again, drpaintball.com. Another big thank you goes out to Carbon Paintball, where the CC line is finally coming around. We have gloves, tops, pants. Also, there is a CC pack, and the SC line has multicolors now. So you have some different options. I really like the olive SC pack. That harness is nasty. But all the gear over there at Carbon Paintball is pretty slick. We have new sweatshirts as well. And if you guys have any questions, go over to carbonpaintball.com, or you can email myself at carl@carbonpaintball.com. And if any teams have any inquiries or anything like that about becoming a sponsored team by Carbon, go ahead and shoot me an email. It's Halloween time, so I'm like in Halloween mode right now, so I'm like doing all kinds of decorating at the house, and I'm enjoying it, man. It's so fun. Anyway, thank you to Carbon Paintball. But we are also sponsored by Planet Eclipse. This and every episode is sponsored by Planet Eclipse. They have supported me throughout the years in my career, which has been a damn long time. But I've had the pleasure of shooting a Planet Eclipse marker throughout my career, and they've done nothing but step up the game every single year. I'm fortunate enough to shoot an LVR this season. I've shot an LV1, I've shot the CS1, I've shot the Geo 3.5, I've shot the original Geo, I shot the original Ego. I mean, I've seen it all, shot it all, seen it all. So I can definitely, genuinely tell you that Planet Eclipse is one of the best, if not the best, company to work with, and as far as their equipment goes, everything is top notch. So get yourself out there and snag a Planet Eclipse marker. So thank you to Planet Eclipse. And that is all of the ads for this episode. So thank you guys for joining me, and I hope you enjoyed the episode. We'll see you at the end. Okay, Scotty Kemp.
What up? What up?
What's up, man? How you doing?
I'm doing good. Was just up north, up in Tahoe, visiting the old gal's family up there. She's going on a little 3-month traveling vacation through Asia right now.
Oh,
so
really?
She hasn't done much traveling, and we get to travel the world. So she's been working and saving up. So I'm like, it's time. Go travel the world and go see things and get outside of America and your bubble that you've been in. So
you say 3 months in Asia?
Yeah. Just her and her girlfriend are backpacking all through Asia.
Oh my God.
They've been saving up for like a year and a half. They like sublease their place out and quit their jobs, and they're just traveling for 3 months. So it's pretty cool.
Dude, that sounds sick, man. I wish.
I just got back from up there visiting her family and then saying goodbye.
Nice. Are they right on like a lake or anything up there? Or?
They have a cabin up there, so we were up at a cabin like right by the lake. You ever been up to Tahoe? Tahoe's beautiful up there. I've never been outside of like the winter time.
Yeah.
So
no, I've never been there. No, I always see like some pictures of you like snowboarding and shit up there.
Yeah. Mammoth. We usually go to Mammoth, which is like not far from there. All Northern California mountains.
Yeah, dude, I've wanted to go there ever since I saw like snowboarding videos back in the day. Like I've wanted to go snowboard there.
So fun.
It looked like a riot. But thank you for doing this, man. I really appreciate it. Sitting down, and I'm slowly working my way through. You've been producing good content, so yeah, thank you. I know it's not like this is kind of what I've been wanting to do though, is like have like legit good conversations with people and kind of get their background and everything, because I forget who I did one with, but we were talking about it. We're like, yeah, these it might have been this last podcast I did with Cody Sedler and Mark Schulte, where they have all these new videos that are coming out. They're like 5, even 10 minutes long, but they do a lot of just kind of highlights, right? It's always like highlights. You never really get like kind of an in-depth behind the scenes thing until like Dan Napoli puts out like a roster thing or what he's doing with Xfactor's thing. And I kind of wanted to do that on the media of where you can listen to it wherever, whenever. You don't have to occupy yourself with a screen all the time. So I think it's working out so far.
Yeah.
So let's kind of get into your history. I know like we've been really good friends for a while, and definitely has to do with excessive days and everything. But before all of that, where did Scott Kemp find and come across paintball, and how did that story come about?
Yeah, so prior to us meeting through excessive, first time I ever played paintball. Birthday party, 12 years old. I think that's everybody's.
Party, another one.
That's everybody's, right? So, so fell in love with the sport, and couldn't even drive at the time. Dad's driving myself and my brother.
So how did you hear about it, or like figure out paintball was a thing?
So, birthday party went, and it was it wasn't my birthday party.
Oh,
it was
okay, all right.
Buddy's birthday party. I was invited to go, played, had a blast, and then bought a Raptor from my neighbor who was like, he was in his teens and in high school, and I was like 12 at the time. I bought this with like all my lunch money saved up.
Now was this previous to the like before the birthday? No, like for the birthday. Oh, so you were hooked right away.
I love paintball. I need a gun, so I bought this gun from. He's like, oh, you want to buy this paintball gun off me? So bought that gun, and then started going to the field with my older brother, and we started playing, and my dad would play as well. And we would just play walk-ons. And there was a paintball store down the road from my house, and we would go there after school and like help and clean up guns and just clean up shop. And the manager of the field, he would hook us up with paint, and he would give us gear and stuff.
Perfect.
And we would watch paintball videos in the shop.
Hell yeah.
And they'd have push and all these old school videos of 10-man tournament. And so we're just watching Chris Lasoya and Rocky and all these guys, and I'm like, wow, like that's what tournament paintball is like. Like, I want to get into that. And so SC Village, about an hour from where I grew up, we hear about the legendary SC Village. So once I got my license, I was able to drive. We have to go to SC Village and get into the tournament scene, because that's where all the good pro players, and that's where all the good divisional teams go.
So how many times did you play after the birthday party before you found out about the tournament?
And so we would try to go one day a weekend. We'd go on like a Saturday. Almost every weekend, my dad would take us. We'd get hooked up on paint from that field or from that store that we'd go about at. And so my brother and I, and then we would go play, and we made friends at the local walk-on field, but it was just a big walk-on field called Close Encounters.
Mm-hmm.
So we'd go there, and then yeah, started getting in the tournament scene. So once I could drive, started upping my gun to the what did I get next? An Impulse. My first electronic gun. Got an Impulse. Mine. And then started going to SC Village and met the Hostel kids. So that was my first intro into tournament paintball.
Now, so who were they at the time? Like who were the Hostel kids at the time?
Yeah, so I'll break this down because not a lot of people know this story about how the Hostel kids kind of started. So at the time, there was a team called Hostel Takeover, and it was a 10-man team. And these were older guys, and they kind of started a kids team, and that was the Hostel Kids. So that was Mark Crescent, Scott Crescent, Jay, Steve, Nabi, a few other guys that don't play anymore, and they had their 10-man team, and they were a kids team, and they'd play rookie tournaments and just do like the regional events. Mm-hmm. Myself, my brother, Bobby Avila's, who I met from the Close Encounters field that was up by my area.
Oh, really?
Josh Myers as well. We were like the LA guys, and the Hostel kids, the original Hostel kids were like the Orange County guys, but we would all meet at SC Village. So we kind of jumped on with their team and got involved because we were all kind of the same age. Mm-hmm. And we're the only really kids that age playing tournament paintball. And we were, so we were the Hostel kids underneath Hostel Takeover, which was they were an amateur team and we were a rookie team.
Yeah.
They kind of disintegrated, and Hostel Takeover kind of broke up or whatever, but then we were still the Hostel kids playing rookie and then playing novice. At the time, it wasn't even called divisions. It was rookie, novice, amateur, pro.
Yeah.
And then from there, we joined with a team called Platinum, and that's when X-Ball kind of started. So PJ Platinum was a team of this team called Spider's Web out in SC Village, and we kind of hybrid them, and we were Platinum. So then we got into tournament paintball. We got into X-Ball, and we formed that X-Ball team. So we were playing 7-man with the Hostel kids, and then we'd play X-Ball with PJ Platinum, and that's when things started going into we'd travel around and play all the events for the PSP / NPPL is what it was called at the time, right? So then towards the end of, so now this is about 2002, 2001, 2002, 2003 is that whole era of the Hostel kids at SC Village and everything. Mm-hmm. So then towards the end of 2003, the Ironmen were rebuilding, and they had open tryouts at SC Village. So Zizek Barrow, who was on PJ Platinum with us, got picked up by the Ironmen earlier that year, and he was the youngest Ironman at the time. The whole team's rebuilding, and they're only keeping about 6 or 7 guys at the time. Yeah. And at this time, you build an X-Ball team of about 15 people because these are matches. So they're ready to pick up about 7 or 8 guys. So they had tryouts, and it was kind of open tryouts and also a little bit of invite, and looking to fill about 6 or 7 spots. And they asked myself to try out I got that invitation through Zizek. So that was 2004. So myself, Bobby also got asked to try out. Brandon Short got asked to try out. He was coming up through SoCal Kids, which was like a team out of Palos Verdes, and he just started coming around SC Village as well. Yeah. Jules Foote, Paul
I remember Jules Foote.
Yeah. Paul Caddick, who was also in our HK camp, and who else? And that was about it. And Alex Hong, the Hong brothers. So those are all the guys. We all got picked up by the Ironmen, and they had a tryout of about 30 people came out to SC Village, and they did 2 weekends in a row, and they'd kind of chop the squads down. And Grayson and Ryan Brand actually came and tried out, came all the way from Texas, and they didn't make the cut. But it worked out for them,
I guess so.
Factor.
So before the old Ironman thing, was there? Yeah. Did you have a little stint with Legacy? Or
So
was that?
so Legacy came next that following
Oh,
year.
I'm jumping
So,
ahead.
yeah, yeah. I know it's a long story. I've been pro for this is my 14th year now. So
Jeez, dude, you're old, man.
yeah, and I'm the old guy now. So
I'm right
yeah,
on
that
the
was
same boat.
first year. First year playing pro was 2004 with the Ironmen.
Hmm.
So we played that season. Played X ball,
So you
played seven
did. So
man.
you did get picked up. Was it like
Uh,
a right away thing, or did you get called
no,
back?
no,
Or
it was 2 weekends in a row of tryouts, and it went from 30 people to 20 to 10 to 7 to all right, you guys are going to make the squad, and then let's go down to die, sign these papers, and fill up shopping carts full of sweet dye gear.
so like it was like legit. You had to sign contracts, kind of a thing.
Yeah.
What
So
was it? Anything having like? Was it monetary, or was it strictly just all your stuff got paid for?
yeah, it was just all your equipment's paid for. You're going to get X amount of this much equipment and all your traveling expense and everything, and basically, abide by the rules here. Show your best self through your sponsors, and yeah, wear the gear that you have to at tournaments and this and that. Pretty standard, but
Yeah,
it was
yeah.
cool. That was I was 17 at the time, and that was my senior year of high school. So it was, finishing up school and getting on a pro team. That was like a cool transition to go through. And
Oh yeah,
myself, Bobby, and Brandon Short all did that at the same time. We're all the same age going through that.
that's cool.
So the legacy thing, what happened there was, so we were on the Ironman, and then there was San Diego Legacy, which was also a team that was built from a bunch of SoCal guys as well. And they were sponsored by Proto, which was the sister company of Dye at the time. So Dye
Hmm.
made another company called Proto, and they were the Proto main team. Well, they rebuilt the following year, so 2005, and they ended up picking up a bunch of the Ironman guys. So myself, Brandon, and it was kind of they also picked up a lot of the HK guys that never got picked up by the Ironman.
Hmm.
So it was kind of a way to rebuild HK into a pro team. So we had Marky, Scotty, Jay, Navi, or not Jay. We had Navi, myself, Bobby, pretty much all the guys that went through 10-man rookie with Hostel Kids into joining with Platinum, playing divisional, and then a few of the guys that stood out, we went pro, but the other guys didn't.
Yeah.
And this was a way to like, okay, let's all get back together, put the band back. So it's kind of cool. That was like our vision there.
Yeah.
But no leadership, a lot of young, reckless kids, and
Yeah.
we had talent. We just, yeah, we were pretty lousy pro team.
So like, I just noticed my face froze on the thing again.
Yeah.
I gotta get a new fucking program. This thing keeps freezing up. But before, when you were on Hustle Kids, or when you were playing for Platinum,
Yeah.
did we, as Titman Effect, were you on the team of Hostile Kids that we played against in X Ball?
I think we might have. I believe so.
Okay.
Trying to think.
Because I think that was like 2003.
Yeah. So, and then after Legacy, Hostel Kids rebuilt again and continued to play X Ball with different roster and stuff. But
Mhm.
if that was 2003, then I was definitely on the squad.
So we faced each other
Did you
back
beat
then.
us?
I think you guys just barely won.
I think I was like, yes, these guys have Titmans. We have such a good advantage. That was my mentality going into it.
Dude,
Like,
everybody does though.
We cannot lose to these guys. They have Titmans. No, but you guys were good.
Well,
It
that's
was like
that's
they
the
only
crazy.
had a better gun in their hand. They could do so much better.
Well, it's weird, right? Like, so it was like another obstacle for us, right? We knew exactly like what we were getting into as far as playing tournaments with 98s. But like
Yeah.
to me, that was fun because I knew right off the bat that nobody was going to take it serious, and that everybody was going to just expect to kind of just walk all over us or whatever. But I remember that hostile game so clear because
Really?
except for the fucking outcome, of course, I can't remember who won, but I'm pretty sure you guys did. But like I just remember like that was the beginning for me of where, and I said this on the last podcast, I respect all the HK guys. I respect that they're a company now and everything, but it was like how cool it was for you guys to be a part of HK and be HK. For the Midwest guys, the cool thing was to not like HK because of that match. And it has always stuck in my gut, like to just like the only time I ever wore anything HK was the first pack band, the strap that I wore on my pack, it was an HK headband from Glenn Takamoto, but I tore off the HK because I liked the print, and then I stuck it on there. But I wore your headband around my hand that time you blew out your knee.
Oh, wow, yeah.
Yeah, and I wore that HK headband around my hand because I was like, dude, you're my fucking boy, and I remember
that.
Yeah.
I remember that.
So that's where the whole rivalry thing, but it's not even a rivalry anymore because Midwest Paintball is like, everybody's wearing HK this, HK that. Well, they're a huge company now. It's crazy because I remember back in the day, like them just walking around, and you were probably part of it, just like handing out HK stickers, like HK Army stickers.
Yeah. So, and to kind of go back into the story about HK, so when I was coming up through the ranks and I met all the HK guys, and we were the hostile kids playing rookie 10-man. How HK Army started was just headbands and T-shirts, and it was all from. So Brandon Fort was having his mom, or not even his mom, his grandma would sew these headbands in their like garage of material that he would buy in LA, and he would just buy all these different fabrics and stuff and make headbands. And at the time, headbands were pretty scarce. Not a lot of companies made headbands.
Right.
So to have all these different designs and colors and stuff, it was huge. And then he would get the HK Army put on it, and giving those out to players, and a lot of pros would wear it and stuff, and you would have people all over the world kind of just representing it. And it made a big wave. And then at the time too, PB Nation was like a big place where people would go on and just share photos and videos of paintball and just kind of interact. And HK Army had just a huge vibe on PB Nation. So PB Nation was kind of a big help to really get HK Army going. But it all started basically from headbands and T-shirts. And then it just kept rolling. Like, none of the kids thought that it would go in the direction it is. And now it's one of the top paintball companies in the world. So it's a pretty cool story to see that.
So crazy.
Yeah.
Now, is that are they affiliated with PB Fashion?
Yeah. So Brandon Fort started PB Fashion, and he did the headbands. And then HK Army was founded by Marky and Scotty Crescent, Jay Nobby, and they would make HK T-shirts and pretty much just shirts and hats and stuff like that. Yeah. And they would kind of collab. So then it would be like HK Army on the front, and then it would say like PB Fashion on the tail. And then Brandon Fort kind of made a little bit of a clothing line on PB Fashion, but he kind of gave that up and just converted into HK Army. But so they collabed like that, and that's how all the headbands and everything came about.
It's a really cool fucking story. Just how like seeing a company, because like we lived through it, like you definitely lived through a different part of it, but like being able to see a company kind of grow from what it was into something that could be.
Especially from kids too. Like at the time, 15, 16, 17 years old, just selling these soft good products out of your basement online, and then, continues to grow. And now you have a company that makes everything but a paintball gun. They make everything now except for guns. They have paint. They have paint with through APX, and they have all the soft goods, goggles, loader. They literally make everything except for a gun now. So it's pretty cool when you think about how it all started.
Yeah. Now they sponsor Dynasty and Russians, all kinds of teams now. It's definitely a cool story. So you're on Legacy.
Yeah.
You guys are doing Poopy.
Yeah. So now we're doing 2005. Not such a hot team, trying to get the band back together. And the season ends. Oh, it came back to life.
Jesus, that was forever.
I was really getting used to that.
I looked interested though, like when it froze, I was like,
Yeah.
I'm interested still. Don't worry.
So now 2005, my second year of playing pro legacy. We try to get the band back together with all the HK guys.
Yeah.
Unsuccessful year, and the whole team decides to break up at the end of the year, and everyone kind of goes their own ways. And I had kind of options of, where did I want to go back to Ironmen. Brandon was going to go back. Brandon Short went back to the Ironman. And then I was friends with Rusty and Glenn, and they were like, hey, come try out for Excessive. We're picking up a few guys. So went out to the tryouts, and
this is 05?
Yeah, so this is basically the start of 2006 season is so probably January, February before the season kicks off.
Yeah.
And they had a SoCal practice up in like northern LA area. Went out to that and tried out, and then Rich and all the guys liked me, had me keep coming. Started doing these long drives up north, up to Modesto, California, and we would carpool. So I'd go up with I was living in LA with my parents at the time, but I would carpool with Maddie, Marshall, Davey, and Rusty, who are all coming up from San Diego. Oh, and Nikki Cuba. So we'd all carpool up. They'd pick me up in LA, go stay up at Rich's house. And yeah, that's where we met and became teammates 2006. Yeah. So we had an awesome team, and we had 2 7-man teams that were both successful in the pro division, and a pro X-ball team. Won my first pro event, Chicago, 2006.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had a really cool team. A lot of good talent, and then unfortunately, the XSV energy drinks at the time, had all these. That was our main sponsor, and they had all these empty promises, and we lost, the bulk of the whole team pretty much, and everybody left because.
Yeah. I was so naive at the time. Honestly, I had no fucking idea what was going on. I was just like, I play paintball. That's all I want to do. And I didn't know what was going on. Like,
so like you and I aren't getting paid. We're just, getting expenses paid to play and this and stuff. But yeah, the guys at the top of the totem pole are expecting this is their income. So they're promised, $50,000 or whatnot. And when these guys don't come through with it, it's like, all right, well, screw you, man. I'm going to go here and there and there. And so the whole team kind of crumbled there, which was sad, but it was a cool experience.
Yeah, the semi-pro team was cool. Or the XS, or New York Energy. Yeah. Dude, it was that. Like one of my most fondest memories is when we won Miami.
Oh yeah. So you guys won Miami.
I thought you won.
That was 2005. Nope, that was 05.
That's right.
I was at the end of my legacy era. But yeah, you guys won 05 in semi-pro. I watched that from the stands because I was on legacy. We got bumped out early. No, but I remember watching you play the snake, and you guys won your pro spot because that was when there was semi-pro and pro, and 3 teams, was it 3 or 2, would get relegated, and
I think 2.
So you guys went up. And that was cool because going into 2007, we had 2 pro 7-man teams and a pro X-ball team. I don't think was there
2006.
Anyone else that. Sorry, 2006. Yeah,
I don't think so.
Was there any other team that had 2 pro teams?
I think Infamous had. Well, they were still semi-pro. I think
Dynasty had semi-pro as well.
Entourage, yeah.
Because they had Entourage. Yeah, so
I think we were the only ones.
The only team.
How did we do in Huntington Beach? I can't remember Huntington Beach for some reason.
Third. We got beat in the semis by Dynasty.
That's right.
And then we beat Miami Rage in play for 3rd and 4th.
That was a heated
in
one.
The dark. Yeah, we're playing in the dark now. It was like 6 at night, 7 at night. And the other pro team won. They beat Dynasty. We got 3rd. And then Miami got 4th.
Dude, didn't we beat Excessive though that tournament?
I think we beat them in
prelims?
Like the prelims. Then yeah.
And then I don't know.
But Dynasty knocked us out of going into the finals, which would have been really cool if we would have beat them because we would have been in the finals against our other pro team.
That would have been awesome, dude.
It was just like flip the coin and be like, all right, let's split the money. So,
oh, that would have been so cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was a super cool experience. It sucked that it all fell apart, but obviously everything, happens for a reason. And
yeah.
You went where after Excessive?
So after Excessive, went to Aftermath. So played with Aftermath for a year. I know my whole career is like, it looks like I'm a big team slut, but it wasn't by choice. It just kind of
happened that way.
Yeah. So Excessive breaks up. They're going to rebuild. And honestly, the team's not looking hot. And now there's Aftermath, and Bobby's on Aftermath, and a lot of my friends are on that team. You have Dalton, Kenny Rosenberg, Winston. So it looked like a fun team. And I hang out with these guys outside of paintball all the time. So they're like, hey, come play with us. So Hinman was running the team at the time, full sponsorship, playing X-Ball and 7-man. But now this is semi-pro. And so played with them for a year. And at the time you were on
Avalanche. We had a big thing going back and forth.
You would always face off each other in the finals.
That was
you
fun.
guys beat us at Cup.
Yes. But you guys beat us like throughout that whole year, it was like either you guys or us.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah.
We won a few of those events. And then there was also 7-man. And then we would always face off with you guys or Xfactor in 7-man because they had 2 semi-pro teams, so they were always a big thorn in our side because we'd have to face 2 of them. And then so that was 2005, and then at the end of 05, Brandon Short, who went back to the Ironmen from Legacy. Sorry, I'm getting all mixed up. Yeah, so 07.
Well, hey, before you even get any further than that. I want to kind of go back to when you were on Excessive and what exactly happened when you blew your knee out.
So World Cup tore my ACL in one of our first prelim games. We were playing against the Naughty Dogs, and I ran from the snake corner to go bunker Map Chim out of the 50 snake. I remember it all. Like, you don't forget these moments.
Yeah.
It was traumatizing. So I run the highway and I take off from the corner to the 50. So I'm full speed down the field, and it's like G2 or G3, and I'm just coming highway as fast as I can. And he moved from the 50 into like the next knuckle up. So like as I come up to the 50, I notice he's not there and he's like kind of behind me. So I locked my right leg and my knee locked into the ground, and I twist. And as I did this twisting rotation in full sprint momentum, completely just blew my ACL. I felt the pop. My whole leg gave out. Gun goggles go flying across the field. I just laid there. Colt Roberts, Dorito 1, starts shooting me. He's on Naughty Dogs. I remember it all to a T. And I'm just laying there
yelling, "Get out!"
I'm like, I'm done. Like, I know that was bad. Like, something definitely tore, and I can't walk. And they had to stop the game. Nikki had to come over, Cuba had to come over and carry me off the field, and they had to walk me off, and I just couldn't even put pressure on my knee, and I just knew like something's bad, definitely did something. So couldn't obviously play the rest of the event. Gave you my headband, you wore that on your hand. R.I.P. Kemp. And then came home, full tear out of the ACL, had to do surgery. Luckily I had the off season at that time to recover in that off season. And then going on to Aftermath, I sat out the first X-Ball, first 7-man, and then I slowly came back into the season.
Wait, was that the first kind of injury that you've had? That was that
through paintball?
Yeah. That's
And
such a scary thing, dude. I had a torn meniscus, which is nothing nearly as crazy as tearing a ligament like that. But just the meniscus itself, dude. Like,
well, the meniscus. Did you get
me.
surgery, or did you? Okay, because the meniscus generally won't heal on its own, and it has really bad circulation, so you have to get it like clipped, right, or sewn back together.
Yeah, I had to get it. I actually had two tears. Like I had one where they had to clip off a piece in the back, and then they had to also trim off a piece in the front. They took a good amount out after I looked at pictures.
How long was recovery on that?
A good 8 months.
Oh wow.
Or was it 8 for?
When was this?
It was December. No, actually, no, not 8 months. They said it could take up to 8 months. It only took me 4 months. Like,
Okay.
it was December of
That seems like
2016.
Hmm.
Yeah, and I was ready by the beginning of the first event this year. I was like ready to go, but I was still like on the fence of, I don't want to go. I'm going like probably 85, 90%.
Yeah.
But it's so scary coming back from an injury like that because, you always get those playing paintball. You always get those like urges to kind of go do something or like make a move because you're in a bad spot. And your body like tenses up and you go to make that move and your muscles tense up. But it was super intense when I first got back because I didn't want to hurt myself. So I didn't know if I was playing good enough to be on the team or start on the team. And it's very intimidating.
Yeah. Injuries suck. There's never a good time for them.
No. And luckily, that's really the only kind of major injury that I've had where it sidelined me and put me in on crutches from playing paintball.
Yeah.
Sucks,
No fun.
dude. So I'm sorry, where were you?
So now we're Aftermath.
Yep.
2007. So played the whole season of '07 with Aftermath. And at the end of that year, Brandon Short, who is one of my best buds at the time, and he went back to the Ironman after the Legacy era. So I went off to Excessive and Aftermath. Short went right back to the Ironman, and they have a really good team at the time, and that's one of my best friends. And he was like, "Hey, come back to Ironman." So talked with Billy and got things worked out and got back on the squad, and it was a whole new team, So they just won World Cup. They have Oliver on the team.
So they still have Oliver.
They have Nikki Cuba. They have, it's a whole new team. It's not the team that I, joined in '04 as my first pro team. Yeah. So I'm excited to get on this team. It kind of reminds me of the Excessive squad. You have a lot of good talent that's been around and won a lot of stuff, and then you have a lot of young, hungry kids that are around my age. And it's, the same thing, that I felt we had that chemistry on Excessive. So now I'm excited to go to this team because I'm going to learn a lot, and they're already a championship team. So get on board with the Ironman, and we're playing all the 7-man and X-Ball, and stuck around for about 5 years with them. Had a good run.
Wow, 5 years?
Yeah. And then went to went to Xfactor and then back to the Ironman. So
how long were you with Excessive? Or not Excessive. Jeez. See, now I'm doing it.
Xfactor. So I did 3 seasons with Xfactor. So it was 2013, 14, and 15 was with Xfactor. So yeah, from '08 to 12. Yeah.
So why the jump? Why the jump over to Xfactor?
So now it's like the team has rebuilt constantly. And now a lot of the guys are leaving at the end of this year of 2012. Staffing is completely different. Coaching, everything, like we don't have Shane as our coach. Now we have Skinny Kevin as our coach. And Hinman also comes on. And then it's a whole new team now. Brandon's leaving. Short's leaving to go to Dynasty. Spica was on the team as well, and he's also going to leave to go to Dynasty.
Oliver had left already, right?
Oliver's, already back on Dynasty. Rainey's going to leave and go to Impact. So all of my close friends that are on the team that I love playing with are pretty much leaving. Mm-hmm. And so now I'm thinking, okay, what do I want to do this next year? And I was in that off season of 2012, at the end of 2012, I was talking with Infamous, and I was potentially going to go play for Infamous. And at the time, rosters were locked at or they were talking about if the rosters were going to be locked at 12, I believe it was, and they had 12 at the time. And Todd was like, "Yeah, we're waiting to find out if they're going to put that rule in or not. If not, then we're totally going to pick you up. But as of now, we can't cut any of the guys. We have 12 solid players."
Right.
So I'm just kind of on the fence, waiting to hear how things are going to unravel. And then I get a call from Ryan Brand, the coach of Xfactor, and he was like, "Hey, what are you doing next season?" I was like, "Well, I might be going to Infamous, but I don't know yet. Nothing's confirmed." And he's like, "Well, why don't you come play for us?" And I was like, I didn't even think about, hitting them up. And he's like, "Look, if they open up the rosters, you're going to be their 13th player. We need guys right now. You're going to be like our 8th or 9th on the roster. So do you want to play every point and start over here? Or do you want to go be the 13th player over on Infamous?" And I was like, "You got a good point." And at the time, too, I'm good friends with both teams. I have still friends with both, and they're both top contenders. So that was my selling point right there. And I was like, "Yeah, why don't I go actually have a starting role?
Play more paintball."
Yeah. So hopped on with them and played 3 seasons with Xfactor, flying out to Texas every weekend, practicing. And that was a really fun team to play with. And
such a good club.
First year, yeah. So the first year was a great year for us. We win Huntington Beach 7-man,
That's right.
which is the last 7-man that they ever have in Huntington. And I was like so pumped to actually win that pro event, because who's won it besides Dynasty and Excessive that one year,
Yeah.
So that was cool to win that. And then we won World Cup at the end of that year. So, and we also had, so Ryan Brand was our coach. And then we also had coach as our secondary, Paul.
Oh yeah, he was from Damage originally, wasn't he?
Right. Yeah, and they kind of let him go, and we picked him up as an assistant coach, and yeah, he was really fun to work with. And rest in peace.
Yeah.
Passed away that following year, but he was a part of that winning World Cup, and that was really cool because Xfactor has never won World Cup, and they've won a handful of 7-man and X-Ball events, but this is a huge event going into World Cup, and we had a good shot. We're right there. We haven't won any of the X-Ball events that year, but we had a really good squad, and to be a big part of that and to win a World Cup with them, that was a really cool feeling. And
I bet it looked fun.
Yeah, and just the look on everybody's face, you see like Alex Martinez, the man who's like put all this time and money into everything, just like ecstatic, like it's all paid off, and coach as well, and Ryan Brand, everybody, like such a cool feeling to win that. So that was a good year for us right there. Then the following year, we're consistently, in that top 4 throughout the whole year. And we just can't close anything out. And then the third year, we picked you up.
Yeah.
And then didn't really get much reps throughout that season. And kind of towards the end of the year, was talking with Alex and was like, "Well, not really playing that much, and I'm flying you in from out of town, so probably better if I let you go." And I was like, "Yeah, I have an opportunity to go play with Ironmen and help those guys out." So that was the transition there, and I was kind of ready for it too. Flying over there every weekend, for 3 years straight, kind of got tiring, and
oh yeah,
just to be able to drive to practice instead of hop on a plane every weekend was a big thing for me as well. And then so yeah, hopped on the Ironman with a 2-year contract 2 years ago, so finishing my second year with them now. Talking with Billy, who is still manages the team and helps out around and stuff. And basically Billy was like, "Look, team's struggling, and you have a lot of experience and you've won a lot of stuff since you've been off the team, and coming back on, I think that you can bring a lot to the table. So that's in my position, I was excited for that because I'm like, okay, now I'm in a leadership role where I have kids looking up to me that I haven't won anything yet, and they're asking me out advice on the field and stuff. And I was once that kid when we were, back in the day on excessive and when I first got on the Ironman, and now I'm the leader, like with the role of making game plans and giving people advice on how to play this better and this and that. So
such a good feeling.
Yeah. So a whole new, and you're in that position as well. Working with kids that are, don't have as much experience and stuff. So that's where I'm at now. And we got the World Cup coming up, and this will be my second year back with the Ironman and my 14th year playing professional paintball. 19 years of paintball in general.
Wow.
Where it all went, I don't know.
Yeah, I think I started playing in 2002, like the beginning of 2002, I think is when I first started playing. Then started playing pro 2004 with Tittman, actually. I'm playing pro 7-man, but it's crazy how much time flies. It's ridiculous. Yeah. It's so crazy. What so during this whole time, when did your off the field job kind of start coming about, like being a physical trainer and starting getting into fitness? Like when did that start coming through? Because it wasn't always like that, right?
Yeah. Pretty much always. Like, so I was either in college or working. So right out of high school, I was like, oh, I'm just gonna play paintball. We're gonna be rich soon. Like
that goes through everybody's head, like for a minute.
And my dad's like, please just go to college. Like, I'll pay for college if you take your classes and you can continue playing paintball, and I'll help you out with rent and stuff. So
nice.
I was like, fine, I guess I'll go to school if I have to. And I'm like, thank you, Dad, for making me do that.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, throughout the time of playing paintball, went to college, got my degree in business management. And then right after I got my degree, I was like, well, I guess I gotta like get a desk job or something. That's what like normal people do. So working a 9 to 5 Monday through Friday and then playing paintball on the weekends, I was like, I can't do this. I'm about to blow my brains out in this cubicle. So one morning after a long 3 months in the desk job, I was selling, it was Ashford University was the company that I worked for, and it's an online university. So I was selling like online college basically to people, calling about 350 people a day on an automated system. Jeez. And usually they're telling you to F off or yeah. So, and I'm the guy like, they're like, take me off the call list. And I'm that guy that like, all right, I'm taking you off. Fine. I won't call you again. So 3 months of that. And I was like, how the hell does anybody do this? No, I can't do this. So I quit. And then had a, passion for training and working out and fitness and stuff. So I got certified as a trainer and got my first training job out of the local 24-hour fitness. And then started building my brand from there. So, and the whole fitness thing really, it stemmed from paintball because at the time I started working out to be in better shape for paintball because I wanted to be the best paintball player I could be. Yeah. So you start working out, you start watching what you eat, start studying nutrition, start studying your training, figure out the best stuff to do. And now you gather all this knowledge and you develop this passion for training. And then you also start to see the external results as well as the internal. So you feel good, you're more athletic, and then you see the progress on the outside. And then I got into doing some, not bodybuilding, but it's called men's physique, but doing some competitions where you get on stage and you're rated in a bodybuilding show. And I pushed myself through diet and training to do that because I had some friends that did it and see like the progress that they can make. And I'm like, wow, like that takes a lot of dedication. I want to get myself to that. So I competed for a couple of years and getting on stage just to like really see. It's really hard with paintball, to be honest, because like when you're dieting really hard and weighing out and calculating all your food that you're intaking, and then you're playing practice, 8-hour practice days and in the heat and stuff like that, it's really hard to do that, especially if like you're on a low carb diet and you're just drained and you're mentally like foggy from like towards the last few weeks of your diet to really get down to, 5%, 4% body fat. You're really in a calorie deficit. And then if you're trying to do something active like paintball, it's like they conflict. It's tough.
Yeah.
So
are those like when you're training for something like that, is it like trying to get the least amount of body fat as possible?
Yeah.
Show definition and.
Right. Exactly. So basically, I mean, it depends on what your goal is and what you're trying to do. So if you maybe you need to put on more muscle or whatever, people might do a bulking phase, and they're like, okay, I need to build bigger shoulders and bigger legs in the off season, because your body is either always going to be putting on muscle or fat or burning muscle or fat. You can't build muscle and burn fat at the same time. Mm-hmm. So basically you create your foundation. And now once you put yourself in a calorie deficit to burn that fat away, you're maintaining your muscle, but you will not build that muscle as you're losing fat. So that's why people kind of go through like a bulk and a cut. So you bulk up, you build all that muscle that you want to build, and then you pull everything nice and tight to show all that definition by getting all that fat away.
I guess that makes sense. Like you have to do one over the other. Like you have
to a small extent, you can kind of build a little bit of muscle while you burn fat. For the most part, when you're in that calorie deficit, to really drop from 15% body fat to 5%, you're not really putting on muscle. You're constantly burning tissue away. So
how tall are you? Are you like 5'10"?
Yeah, I'm like 5'9".
5'9", and you're sitting at like what, 185?
On stage, I get on at low 70s, so I'll be like 170, to 173 is like my stage weight, where I'm like super lean, and then when I'm not competing, I'm like about 180, 185.
That's where I need to be, man. I'm just under 200, and I'm like I don't know. Like I try and watch my diet.
Though you're like what, 6 foot?
I'm like 5'11". Yeah. But I haven't found that right thing yet where, I guess it's not the right thing. It's just I haven't been able to be so strict on my diet and work out so much to where I'm burning more calories than what I'm taking in.
Yeah.
Like that's the tough part for me.
Yeah, and that's the biggest thing is like you really have to dial in your diet to do that. And you're like, okay, I'm doing this much cardio and this much weight training, and I'm eating exactly this many calories of proteins, carbs, fat, and you're really like dialing it in. And then when you want to get even more complex, so like what I would do that helps out a lot too is I would do like carb cycling. So you would have like high, low, medium carb days, and you're kind of tricking your body and tricking your metabolism. So you're not just keeping yourself at a low carb constantly every single day. So I might have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday are like super low carbs, and now by Wednesday I'm super depleted. And then Thursday I have a high day to bring me back up, and then Friday is like medium to come down a little bit, and then like Saturday, Sunday, Monday again would be low. And so you do this cycle, and that's where it gets a little more complex. But then you're really having to calculate everything day by day, and it's a full-time job to really do all that.
Yeah. Now you go over all of this is your book still available?
Yeah. So I have 2 books available, ebooks that are available on my website on scottkempfitness.com. But yeah, I go over all that in my ebooks, the roadmap to getting shredded. So that one is all about basically getting lean, losing body fat. And I do talk about carb cycling and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And then the other book I wrote, I don't cover diet on it at all. It's just paintball training, and it's called Performance Training for the Paintball Athlete. And that one's strictly about workouts that you can do at the park with a few small items that you can buy, and work on speed, agility, strength, flexibility.
That's cool.
And,
I know you had the fitness book up. I didn't know you had the other one out.
I did the paintball one while I was on Xfactor. I wrote that. because you have a lot of time when you're on those airplanes. Pretty much
That
run
is
it
true.
all on the airplane.
Nice, nice, dude.
Yeah.
I was thinking about writing some kind of like not necessarily fitness, but just like drills, like to
Yeah.
have in, and then also like have
Yeah, you should.
paintball background.
All it takes is time. If you got an idea and something to talk about,
Fucking time, dude.
start plugging some time. I feel like the best. I have like the clearest mind when I'm on the airplane. That's like when I pretty much wrote both of those books. Majority of it, it's just flying. You have no cell phone, no distraction, peace and quiet, and if you're flying by yourself, you really don't have anyone to talk to.
Yeah.
So, what else are you gonna do? Read, sleep, watch a movie.
That's my biggest thing is like I normally when I get on an airplane ride that's like more than 2 hours, I'm trying to pass the fuck out like as soon as
Yeah.
possible, as quickly as possible. But there's other times like I've wrote some articles or I've written some articles on planes before, and sometimes I just stared out the window into the abyss, into the black abyss at night, and just lost myself in my in my brain.
Yeah.
But is there anything that you do, like, because I definitely want to get into the Ironmen of now, and I want to talk about last event a little bit. But is there anything that you do as far as prep goes before an event? Like, do you take any kind of supplements? Do you do any kind of meditation or anything like that?
For the most part, no. My training pretty much stays the same throughout the year, and then the biggest thing for me is going into an event, like not sore, you know. So the last thing you want to do is train, overtrain, and go in super sore, and all that hard work that you've been doing to be faster and build your endurance and everything ends up being hindered because you overworked yourself. So we always practice Saturday, Sunday before the event, going into an event where you're going to play your first prelim game on Friday. And I'll usually take that whole week off to let my body recover.
Yeah.
You know, if I feel good, I might hit a workout on Monday or something, you know, moderate on Tuesday, but absolutely not going to train on Wednesday. And the biggest thing, you know, is really go in 100%. You want all that hard work that you've been training for in the gym to show.
Yeah.
So if you go in and your legs are dead already, you know, day one, you really hurt yourself in that area. So also as far as the nutrition side of it too, you want to keep yourself at least not in a calorie deficit. So when we talked about burning body fat, you have to be eating less than you're burning. Well, if you are taking those days to rest, then yes, you are going to burn less than you would if you were training, but you still don't want to put yourself in a deficit because you want your body to recover, and you want to at least be eating the same, if not more than you're burning throughout those days to let your body recover. Because you're not gonna get a good recovery if you're only eating 1,500 calories as you're taking your rest days. So
yeah. Now, are you a proponent of Thursday practices before the event?
No. Because we play for an hour, but I wouldn't want to play a half day of 4 hours or anything more than 2 hours. Like, now let's save our bodies. Let's, save our energy. It's usually really hot and humid. And
yeah, that's where, I mean, I'm not able to come in until like Thursday night. Like I usually, because I can't get off work on Thursdays, so I usually fly out Thursday night. Get in Thursday night, but like I'm never able to walk the fields. I'm never able to like go to practices or anything like that. And I didn't know, like I was never really a big fan of the Thursday practices because just of the way I play, like there's always a high risk of injury. So I always don't like playing on Thursdays just for the fact that something could happen. I'd much rather have it happen during the tournament than the fucking Thursday before the tournament.
Yeah, I agree. And I mean, I feel like every team kind of feels that way too. You're not really running into the snake every point and going really far with everybody on that Thursday practice when you do watch the pros play.
Bruno would send me to the snake every point if I didn't say anything otherwise.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm not a fan of that. But you watch most of the, like, we're saving our bodies. We're not running very far. We're just trying to shoot our guns, get the jitters out, practice a few lanes and stuff. And you already know the field. You
Yeah.
already know. You're not going to learn anything new on that Thursday day. You know everything you're going to know before.
Yeah.
So,
You know what always gets the jitters out for me
uh,
is getting shot for the first time in the
yeah,
tournament.
yeah, I'm with you there. I agree.
Yeah, because it's always like,
All right, wakes you up a little bit.
yeah, because especially if you have a couple good points, like it kind of feels a little surreal. Like, fuck, dude, I'm fucking rolling through this shit. My shots are on, everything like that. But it doesn't kind of click in that it doesn't bring you back down to earth until like you get shot and like, okay, it is an even playing field. I gotta fucking come back down. But let's talk about that. Let's talk about this last event in Chicago. You guys made Sunday.
Yeah, so we went on a big streak of not making Sunday, and yeah, it's pathetic the talent we have, and we have all the right pieces, but it's just we couldn't get it done. A lot of bad luck and a lot of small mistakes, and we were notorious of just going 2-2 and not moving on to Sunday, and it sucked. And it was like I've never gone that long of not making Sunday in my whole pro career that I just listed. So yeah, it's degrading and it sucks. And we had the talent and everything, and we should have been performing a lot better. But this last event was good. It was good for us. We got fourth place. We got bumped out by Impact, who ended up going on to win the event. But yeah, we finally had a little bit of good luck and a lot of smart decisions, and had a Sunday paintball game for the first time in a while for the Ironmen. So
who was your guys' quarterfinal game against?
that was Uprising, Seattle Uprising.
And
So
I got to go back and watch some of
we
those
beat
matches.
them. I think it was like 5-2, something like that. So we beat them pretty confidently, and then went on to play Impact, and they beat us. It was still kind of close game. We got the first point. Al did a run through and shot. It was either 4 or 5 guys. I want to say he shot all 5.
Who is this now?
Al Fernandez.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he took off from the that like tall tower, the Aztec tower.
On the snake side?
To go bunker the wall. Shot him, then shot the mini W on the inside, then bunkered the tower that was like his mirror, then shot like the snake can, and then like someone on the Doritos side. He literally shot everybody and then hit the buzzer at the very first point. It was sick.
I gotta go back and watch it.
Yeah. So we won that point. They won the next. I think they won the next 2. We won a point. We got a bad penalty, and then they got up and they beat us by 2 points. So it was a close match, but they're playing good. They won the event.
Yeah, yeah. Now, what do you think about, how would you describe Todd Martinez's coaching style?
Very emotional.
Now, is he leading with that? I mean, I see it from the sideline, but obviously it's definitely, and you know this, it's definitely different being coached by somebody and being in that atmosphere rather than seeing it from the outside. But I mean, is it a lot of confidence? Because that's what I see, is a lot of confidence in what he's doing.
Yeah,
and portraying it onto you guys.
Yeah, Todd's a very emotional guy. Throughout practice, tournaments, I mean, just everyday life things. He's a very emotional guy, and so his big thing as a coach is like, trust in me. Like if this is the play, that's it. Do it and just have faith. And that's the biggest thing that everybody has to. You have to believe in him and you have to bet on him and roll with it. Whether you think that might not be the best move or it is. Just go with it, Yeah. So that's what we have him there for, and that's the big thing. So when we get up and we start winning, he's emotional, he's showing excitement, and if we're doing poorly and we're not performing or somebody doesn't do their job, he's emotional and he'll show it and he'll let you know it right away. So
yeah, he's a good dude, though.
You got to be held accountable. You got to be held accountable if you have a job to do and you don't do it or you're subpar at it. So
yeah, because I see him just as emotional as I feel Bruno is. to the game itself. Just for how they portray themselves when something's not going or should be going a certain way, and it's just a passion for the game, right? I mean, you can tell that they both have that, and I feel like Todd and Bruno are very similar in that way on how much passion they have for the game, but they know what they're talking about, man. They've been around for so long, and I think that's why Bruno gets such a bad rap, is because he is a little hot-headed sometimes, but he knows what he's talking about. But it's foreshadowed by the hot-headedness or the arguing or whatever you want to, or the yelling or whatever, which he's settled down a lot. But because I see Todd flipping out every once in a while, but he has a solid head on his shoulders. He knows what he's talking about.
Yeah.
But it's good to see. I'm glad you guys made Sunday. I think it was a big step forward.
You guys had a great performance too.
Dude, always fucking like we've had. I think we have 4 overtime losses this year, 4 or 5 that have kept us out of Sunday, and like I feel like we're right there, right? We're knocking on the door, and it just takes that little, not making that one mistake during that one point, during the first or second point of the match or whatever, is what we got to just tighten up.
Yeah,
it's fun though, because it's like I feel like more now than ever that across the board, for the most part, across the board is like fucking competition.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
You don't know who you're gonna like. I don't know how many times we faced up against
100%.
Uprising and we they stomped us or we beat them, and then the same thing against Boom. I saw we beat Boom this past event 8-1, but I've watched them beat. I think they beat Dynasty this year.
Yep,
they
did.
So it's like it's
anyone can beat anyone right now.
Exactly, it's so good.
It really comes down to anyone can beat anyone, and anyone pretty much has beaten anyone for the most part. But it comes down to the teams that are just more consistent.
Yeah, I agree, and I think this past event showed like how even keel it was with the competition, because all those games were so close. There's so many close games. It was ridiculous. Like how many 1-point games do you guys have? You guys had a couple, right?
We had one. I want to say one, but a few of them were by 2 points. Yeah, so
which still, like, that like,
very close.
2 points could be quick. Like
it's nothing.
Yeah, exactly. It could be a 5-3 game, but if you go back and watch the tape, it was 1-2, and then 2-2, and then 2-3, 3-3. So like kind of, and then like towards the end, it might fall off a little bit, but I think it's a good time to play pro paintball right now. I think the competition is huge. I think everybody is playing at their best level. Like I feel like you're playing better paintball than you've played in a long time. On the excessive days of when we were all young, I feel like we're playing just as good as we were back then. So, I think there's so much more for improvement on Aftershock, on Ironmen, because I kind of go back and forth between both of our teams. I think we're very similar. I think we have a lot of talent. We have a lot of young guys that have a lot of room for improvement, but we're both in the system now of where we're trying to mold that winning team, right? And
they're both legendary teams.
Yeah, exactly. So it just goes to show, just fucking you can't just show up.
And they're both coached by players that played on the team back in the day.
That is
Tom
true.
Played on Ironmen. People forget that.
That's so funny, man. Paintball's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Well, dude, I won't take up too much more of your time. Where can people find you, find your book, find you on social media?
Yeah, so my website, scottkempfitness.com, and then also BKI Paintball is a big thing. If you guys haven't heard of it, that Grayson from Xfactor and myself have been running for a while. So we produce a bunch of content of paintball drills and training and nutrition and stuff like that to help people. And it's a monthly membership, so you can go check it out. We have a lot of free stuff on there too, so you can go check out a lot of the free content and then see if you like it. But that is bkipaintball.com. And Grayson and I have been running that for like almost 4 years now. Nice. We have a ton of content in there.
Yeah.
So
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Where can they find you on social media?
Yeah, Instagram is Kemp, and Facebook is I think I have a fan page is Scott Kemp Fitness.
Nice, man.
So
well, make sure you go check it out.
Yeah. And any questions, just shoot me a message on Instagram or Facebook or whatever. And I'll see you at World Cup.
Yeah, buddy. Safe travels until then.
Yeah, you too. Thanks for having me.
All right, take care, man.
All right, see ya.
See ya. Thank you so much, Scotty, for sitting down with me and chatting. It's cool to hear the HK background story from a different angle. I was always curious at how that thing started, and it's amazing what it turned into. It's so nuts, and it was it's definitely cool hearing Scotty's story for sure. I saw the kid grow up. I've always seen him at the tournament scene, and eventually knew who he was once he jumped on the excessive squad, and it was really cool to get to know him, and I'm glad that I can call him my friend. So thank you so much, Scott. Another quick thank you to our sponsors, Dr. Paintball, where they have used gear and new gear where you can finance over at drpaintball.com, and they have all kinds of paintball info, so make sure that you check them out. And also Carbon Paintball with the SC line as well as the CC line, so you have two different options on the gear. The new CC line is coming out very, very soon, so make sure you check it out at carbonpaintball.com. Another big thank you goes to Planet Eclipse for producing the best markers on the planet. Pun intended. So thank you to Planet Eclipse for creating the awesome paintball markers that we have today. So thank you, and thank you to all of you out there listening. If you guys have any questions, any comments, anything like that, I am definitely open for questions or comments or anything like that. I want feedback. I love feedback. I love hearing all kinds of criticism, whether it be good, bad, ugly, nice, cool, whatever. Anywhere you can find me over at Instagram at Carl Markowski. Well, it's actually at Carl_Markowski. There's also the Playing On Podcast on Instagram or Facebook at Carl Microwave Markowski or the Playing On Podcast. Same old thing. So thank you guys so much for listening. Very greatly appreciate it. And I will see you next time here on the Playing On Podcast.